How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? We don't need a big intro here, Carly. The folks are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to talk about the 2025 NAIA Softball World Series in Columbus, Georgia, and it is going to be streamed on Urban Edge Network. We are very excited to announce we have partnered with Urban Edge Network for our 2025 NAIA Softball World Series coverage. To catch every pitch and play of the 2025 NAIA Softball World Series, stream it live on urbanedgenetwork.net and download the app for free today. We'll have both of those in the YouTube description and the audio podcast description, and we'll be putting out the links all week long, all 18, possibly 19 games of the World Series. When we do our Twitter threads like y'all have grown accustomed to us doing, we'll be sure to have those links. Carly, we're excited to partner with Urban Edge. We are excited to talk about the 2025 World Series. But real quick, we got to talk about our times. Two phenomenal hosts in the NAIA, Indiana Wesleyan University for yours truly up in the Marion Regional. But for you, Carly, talk to us about your time in Williamsburg, Kentucky, where you were hanging out with the Pats.
Yeah, I was down in the Berg. Carly Oliver gave me a sweet little tour of campus. I mean, they have the nicest campus, the nicest facilities, uh, almost like D1 level stuff. I mean, the Pats are really well taken care of across the board in all their sports. Shout out, really big thank you to Coach Dilly, um, and the rest of the coaching staff and Ashley, the site manager, for taking care of me down there, hauling me around everywhere because I didn't have a car, feeding me. But it was a great experience, pretty much up until I had to fly out of Lexington. It was a whole fiasco. I was stuck there from like 5 to 1:30 in the morning before I called it quits and Ubered home. But I give the Berg a solid like 9 out of 10. Great food. The mint was fire. You called it there,
Yep.
and I give Lexington a 0 out of 10.
Williamsburg, the spot to be for sure. They're in their third straight NAIA Softball World Series. Iowa, unfortunately, did not make it to the World Series, but they have a first-class athletic department. Great job there. Big thanks to Coach Babs, everybody up there showing me a phenomenal time. Got to say, one of the coolest moments I've had the privilege of doing as we wrap up my third year of covering this awesome league was the prayer and the prayer meeting and small group meeting that we got to do. All the teams let me be involved with it. Really cool getting to do that before the World Series, and obviously viral moments that we were able to capture there. Great stuff. But Carly, then there were 10. Let's get
And
into it.
then there were 10.
We are going to go through all 10 teams, what they've done to get to the NAIA Softball World Series, some of their top performers in the opening round. Then we'll look at the key matchups as we get ready for day one of action. It will kick off on Thursday. We'll go seed by seed. Carly, let's get it started with where you were just at. The number one seed of the 2025 NAIA Softball World Series, the Cumberland's Patriots.
Yeah, Pats are currently sitting on an 8-game win streak heading into the World Series. They kicked off game one of the opening rounds against Cornerstone. They defeated them 7-4. A lot of the action was in the first inning. Malia Wilkins hit a 3-run shot. Bailey Turnbow followed it up with a solo shot in the first. They had 8 stolen bases, a lot of them coming in that first inning. They would beat Texarkana in game two, 5-1. And then I think the highlight of this opening round, after all the weather delays and the lightning delays, was getting to see a 9-inning thriller against Texarkana, who, shout out to Texarkana, gave it their all. I mean, they were a really, really scrappy and talented team, but ultimately, the Pats were able to walk it off and earn their third straight trip to the World Series. Top of the lineup was very, very productive for the Pats. Amber Gaynor, Emma McDonald, and Carly Oliver. They were all three really good, and when they get on the bases, they can surely run on you. They combined for 8 stolen bases this weekend. Middle of the lineup also put together a lot of good ABs. We've talked about her before, but I was pretty impressed with Anaya White. Not only her glove at short, but her ability to stay in long ABs. Defensively, this team's fielding at 97%. They're hitting 353 as a team. They have an on-base percentage of 424 and 124 stolen bases this season, which is a single season record. Shout out Coach Maya. She calls the steal signs. But Amber Gaynor this weekend was great to watch. She was 6 of 11. She scored 5 runs, 5 RBIs, had 6 stolen bases and 2 doubles. Freshman Emma McDonald came up very clutch for the Pats on multiple occasions. Had 2 runs, 2 doubles, and 2 RBIs. And the walk-off hit against Texarkana to send the Pats to the World Series. And then Anaya White, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, couple walks, and couple stolen bases in her pocket. And then looking at the pitching, Lindsay Shope pitched 16 innings on the week, 5 earned runs, striking out 9. Got to see a little bit of Jessica Cord, 5 innings, 6 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. And the Pats will be taking on the winner of Grandview and my alma mater, Midland, on Friday in Game 7 at 4 p.m.
Well, Carly, I know how excited you are for your Midland Warriors to be back in
I'm
Columbus.
pumped. Dilly kind of did me dirty. We were watching them versus Oregon Tech, and once they won, I was all pumped, but I happened to be wearing a Cumberland shirt.
Well, then you got to take care of business against a really tough team in Grandview first. But whoever comes out of that, it's going to be a really good challenge for the University of Cumberland in their first game as the 1 seed. But Carla, this is not a new spot for the Pats. It's a very senior heavy team. A lot of veterans that have been there part of the last 2 World Series runs. You were in Columbus one time. It can be a little big. The moment can be a little big. Not for you. You had a pretty decent run in 23, but Carly, that kind of experience has got to be big. You think about Turnbow, it's her third time. Oliver, third time. Shope, Adkins, the Gaynor twins, on and on and on. A lot of World Series innings coming back. That's pretty valuable, I would say, for Cumberland's.
Yeah, and I think at this point, making it to the World Series is expected from them. So I think they're looking forward to getting out there and kind of avenging what went down last year.
Well, Carly, another team that will be getting a bye and in Columbus for the third straight year, making that short trip south. How did we not pick them? I don't know. My bad, GGC. But the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies are roaring into Columbus.
Yeah, they were in a very, very talented pitching opening round. I think we called it what do we call it? The parody of
The region of pitching.
the region of pitching. Yeah.
Yep.
But they defeated Thomas, score of 5-1 to kick things off in their opening rounds. Um, they would take on St. Thomas with a trip to the championship on the line. They scored all 3 of their runs in the third inning, and the Bobcats would attempt to mount a comeback. They scored 2 in the top of the fifth, but they were unable to push across anymore, giving the Grizzlies the 3-2 victory. And then in the championship, they defeated the Bobcats again 6-1 to earn their fifth trip to the College World Series. Morgan McQuagey, 4 runs, 2 walks, and an RBI. She scored a run in every game, which was huge for the Grizzlies, something that they've kind of been on and off on all year long. But she's hitting 283 on the year, is their threat on the bases, 22 of 23 for stolen bases. Savannah Jenkins had herself a nice little weekend, her and Sophie Sisk. Jenkins was 4 for 9, 3 RBIs with 2 runs and 2 doubles. Sophie Sisk, 5 RBIs, 2 runs, a double, a stolen base, and a walk. Both are hitting around the 330 mark. They lead the teams in RBIs, Jenkins with 37, Sisk with 34. I saw equal time from Jarvis and James. Jarvis, 10 innings, 10 hits, 14 strikeouts, only giving up 2 earned runs. And then Caitlin James, 11 innings, 11 hits, 1 earned run, striking out 5. Two really elite pitchers for Georgia Gwinnett, and I think it's going to be hard for teams to score some runs on them.
Yeah, you look at what they have in the circle. I mean, Kayla James has been one of the best pitchers in the country over the last month or so. We were just talking about Cumberland's, who winners of 27 of their last 28 entering the World Series. Who was that one loss against? It was a 1-0 loss in Lawrenceville to Georgia Gwinnett, where James shut down that elite lineup. And not much needs to be said about Annalise Jarvis, her last rodeo in a Grizzly uniform. Carly definitely want to leave it all out on the field. Two girls with ERA just a couple of ticks above point 0.8 and nearly 400 strikeouts combined between Jarvis and James. J&J, it is, I would say, undoubtedly the best 1-2 duo in the circle
Hmm.
in NAIA softball, certainly entering the opening round. With if those two are both on their A game and they're able to have the big bats that you just mentioned, Jenkins, Sisk, McQuagey, step up and have a big World Series. I see a red banner in the future for Georgia Gwinnett. But Carly, let's move on to the number 3 seed, a team that has dominated NAI softball over the last 5 years. It's the Southern Oregon Raiders. They took down College of Idaho 3-1, a team that they've seen plenty of this year
Yeah.
and got a little bit more of them in a Cascade Conference matchup in their first game of the opening round. They beat the Yotes 3-1 behind a 14 strikeout performance from the freshman phenom Ayla Davies. They would run Rural Hope International 10-2 in 5 innings. They score 5 in the first, 5 in the fourth. Kennedy Keela, Sammy Pemberton, and Faith Moultrie all had multi RBI games. And then to punch their ticket into Columbus, Southern Oregon would beat Hope International 5-3. Kirsten Growill, 2 RBI double, sparked a 4-run fourth inning en route to the win. It's no surprise. Ayla Davies saw the majority of the action in the circle, going 36 and 2/3 innings with 36 strikeouts on the entire year. The freshman has pitched in 236 innings and racked up 241 strikeouts. The top of their lineup was elite, Carly. That 1-2-3 with the center fielder, Sarah Curling, who certainly could have been in the conversation for player of the year in the Cascade. Her left field partner, Kaylor Fullerton, in the 2-hole, and first baseman in the 3-hole, Kennedy Kyla. Those three combined for a 406 batting average. And we saw Faith Moultrie, who, in talking with Coach Jess Pistol, has done a really good job wherever she's been in the lineup. We saw towards the end of the regular season in the conference tournament, she was in the top of the lineup. Coach Pistol, who knows a thing or two about winning in the postseason, moves her to the bottom of the lineup in the 9-hole, where she batted 500, doing a really good job flipping the lineup over. They were 8 for 8 on stolen bases, 145 for 156 on the season. That is the best in the 2025 World Series. And they have the second best fielding percentage of a .975, had second best by .001 points. The other team they're going to be playing, the Marion Knights. And just real quick, I finally checked on something on their website, Carly. They have got an awesome new stadium coming in 2026. Definitely go and check that out. It's going to be a great place
Yeah.
to play some softball games. But like we said, this is nothing new for the Raiders. Seventh World Series in the last 8 years, looking for their fourth red banner since 2019. It would make it 3 in 5 years. They're already, you could already talk about them being a dynasty. 3 in 5, you're an unquestioned dynasty. They're the 3 seed. They face Marion in what is going to be a thrilling Thursday game 2 matchup for 1 p.m. Eastern time start time. But Carly, to one team that knows a thing or two about being in the World Series, to another.
Yep. The Oklahoma City Stars, yet another team that we had doubted in the opening rounds. We're sorry. Uh, we'll never pick against Phil McSpadden again. Uh,
We'll
well,
say that
maybe.
we still got to pick our World
Yeah.
Series winner here in a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. That was a lie. I'm sorry. Um, but they began their opening round with a 5-0 win over Morningside. They would lose in the second game 3-5 to Mobap in a game in oh my God. I wrote this like in the hotel after a few hours of sleep. Um, in game two, where they would score three in the first, but were unable to contain the Mobap offense. Um, in an elimination game against Morningside, the team's bat would get hot. They earned an 11-1 win in 5 innings. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling right now. Anyways, in the championship series against Missouri Baptist, they would have to beat them twice with a trip to Georgia on the line. What do you know? The Stars get it done. They have two absolute thrillers, defeating Missouri Baptist 6-5 and 4-3. This team has a lot of pop in their lineup. As a team, they have 76 home runs. Collectively, they're hitting 371 with an on-base percentage of 434, just under the 100 mark for stolen bases on the year with 99. They're just as impressive defensively as well. They're fielding at a 96.8%, committing only 47 errors on the year. Nobody in those categories is in double digits. And looking at some of the key performers for them, to no surprise, Tiffany Paul, 7 hits, 6 RBIs, scored 5 runs, a double, and 2 home runs. That puts her at the 19 home run mark on the year, and she's hitting 455. Tara Horner, 8 of 17, 3 runs, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs, uh, hitting 415 on the year with 15 home runs. And then Annalise Rayburn, 5 hits, 4 runs, a double, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and earned herself 4 walks at the plate. She leads the team in home runs this year with 25, and she's hitting an impressive 495 on the year. Heron had herself a week at the plate and in the circle, 4 hits, 3 runs, a double, and 4 RBIs. And then on the defensive side of things, she pitched 26 innings, gave up just 8 earned runs, struck out 14 in the Stars' route to yet another trip to the World Series. They're a team that's looking to avenge their 0-2 start last year. They're the 4 seed, and they will be taking on the number 5 Central Methodist in Game 4 at 7 on Thursday.
How about that nightcap? Plenty of firepower going to be in that one. I mean, 76 home runs as a team is 614 slugging, best in NAIA softball. They had the best batting average of any team in the World Series this year at 369. Carly, I think they have almost unquestioned NAIA player of the year at shortstop, and Annalise Rayburn leading the country with 25 home runs and a good chance if teams decide to pitch to her and the Stars make a good run, she could eclipse the century mark in RBI. She comes in with 92 ribeye steaks. You could feed the whole World Series
That's
field with that, huh?
that's crazy.
Yeah, not too bad. But Carly, they have got a heck of a draw in the 4-5 nightcap. These two teams played earlier this year. How about this, Carly? These two teams, Oklahoma City, Central Methodist, 2 of 6 teams in the World Series this year that were in Shawnee for the NAISB Invitational. Pretty cool there. But Central Methodist, the 5 seed, after going 1-2 in the Heart of America tournament, this veteran team led by the newest member of the 1,000-win club in the coaching regards, Pat Reardon, they turn around and win 3 impressive games. They beat British Columbia 4-1 behind a Haley Cotter complete game. 5 strikeout performance where she allowed no runs. Palumbo really found her form going 3 for 3, and Roberts added 3 RBIs. They take down LSUA in a thriller 4-3, where the catcher Lauren Hill would have a game-winning home run in the top of the 7th. And then against Tennessee Southern, Cotter again, a complete game, only gives up 1 earned run. Lauren Hill again, huge day against Tennessee Southern to punch their ticket to Columbus, going 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Just looking at the catcher's overall performance, Lauren Hill batted .600 with 6 RBIs, 3 home runs, and 2 doubles. Probably the best performance overall for any player in the opening round. They're going to look for the catcher to keep going, along with the back-to-back Heart of America Player of the Year, the first baseman Liz Palumbo, batted .555 with 3 doubles in the opening round. We mentioned the Stars and their pop. Central Methodist 39 home runs is the second most in the World Series. They're batting .351 at the team and fielding at a .970 mark. Like we said, they got the nightcap against Oklahoma City. I'm glad they're going to have the home run lights ready to go for that one, Carly. I got a feeling they're going to need it.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a banger of a game.
Yeah, that's your kind of game. Lot of extra base
Yeah,
hits,
yeah.
gap
Let
to
me see them
gap.
home runs.
We go ahead and tell the people, Carly, you won't be there the first 2 days, but you will be
I will
there
not.
Saturday through a red banner, correct?
Yep, sure will. I'll
Okay,
be
so
there
so
bright and
don't go.
early Saturday morning.
That's right. So don't go 0-2. Don't go home Friday. So Carly can,
Yeah, don't
uh,
do nothing crazy there.
yeah, take it easy, everybody.
Can we just
Um,
delay it until I get there?
yeah, let's chill out. Mother Nature's saying, "I got you."
I've
So
had enough with rain delays. I'm good.
agreed. Mother Nature, let's talk. You have been very rude this season. Be kind to us. Let's please have a nice, clean, beautiful World Series. The radar looks good for now, but knock on wood, we'll roll. Carly, let's head down to our 6 through 10 seeds in Columbus this year. I am so excited for the 3-6 matchup. Southern Oregon, they take on the winners of the Crossroads and a team that is just on another level offensively, it seems, in the postseason, the Marion Knights.
Yeah, the Knights were absolutely dominant in the Northwestern bracket. They went game one, defeating Friends 5-4 in probably the closest game. Well, definitely the closest game that they played. In game two, they handily beat Northwestern 9-0 in 6 innings. They outhit the Raiders 12-4. And then the championship series, Knights took care of business again. They wasted no time in getting the bats going. They defeat Northwestern again 10-2 in 6 innings. This team is fielding at a 97% mark on the year, and pitching has a combined 2.81 ERA. As a team, they're hitting 368 with an on-base percentage of 432, and once again, just under the 100 mark of stolen bases, sitting at 98. Some of the top performers for the Marion Knights this past week, left fielder Abby Hoffman, 5 of 11, 6 runs, 2 doubles, couple RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. That puts her at the 30 stolen base mark on the year. First baseman Lily Went, 5 of 8. She scored 3 runs, had 4 RBIs, a double, and a walk. She leads the team this year in RBIs with 60, hitting 440 on the year and 25 extra base hits. Catcher Grace Meyer had a pretty hot week as well. 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored for the Knights, and 2 doubles. She's hitting 420 on the year and puts her total double mark at 16. Jenna Minix, the right fielder, in the lower half of the lineup, had a great production this as well. Hit 400 on the week with a couple RBIs, and then we saw mostly all of Olivia Stunkel, 18 innings, 6 earned 6 earned runs. She struck out 5. Marion defense put in the work. She's at a 1.97 ERA and 164 strikeouts on the year. And like we touched on earlier, the Knights will be taking on Southern Oregon in game two of the World Series.
Yeah, Carly, we look at this Marion team statistically, the best defensive team in the World Series this year. A lot of great players, but Olivia Stunkel having an unreal year. We saw her off-speed pitch, a really good changeup, mixing in with a curveball, give a lot of teams fits a couple of years ago in Columbus. So we'll
Yep.
see. Now it's joining Midland as being one of those teams, their second trip in the last 3 years. What Marion is able to accomplish. Carly?
Go ahead and rub it in, buddy.
Oh, I'm not even going to rub it in. I'm not going to rub it in. The seventh seed in the 2025 NAIA Softball World Series, the Eastern Oregon Mounties. Look, I'm not going to take a victory lap, y'all. I'm going to, because we're down to 10 teams. Somebody tried telling y'all that this was one of the 10 best teams in NAIA softball. It's a shame they had to knock out another team in Our Lady of the Lake that's also the top 10 team in NAIA softball, but that's postseason. That's the opening round. It's how it works. Eastern Oregon proves the doubters wrong, says you don't want to rank us in the top 10 all year. Fine. You got no choice now. They come in at number 7 in the World Series. They take down Middle Georgia State 3-2 behind Kylie Parsons, going 7 innings, only giving up 1 earned run and striking out 8. Emily Berry added a 2-run shot in that 3-2 win in the epic 3-2 seed matchup between Middle Georgia State and Eastern Oregon, as it all went how we thought it was, a 1-run ball game. They then take on the defending national champions, Our Lady of the Lake, and beat them 4-2. A thrilling game there. Parsons goes 7 innings, 5 hits, gives up 2 earned runs. Ooh, that seventh inning got real nerve-wracking for Eastern Oregon when Olu had the bases loaded and no out, but Parsons was able to limit damage and get out of there. Hope Burke and Brylan Field offered home runs in that 4-2 win. And then to book their ticket to Columbus, they go to extra innings. What a game between Ava Hernandez and Kylie Parsons, both having 0 runs, scoreless through 7. But Parsons is able to get through the top of the 8th without giving up anything. And then Hope Burke walk-off three-run bomb. Y'all get to hear from Coach Nicole Christian when we release our World Series interview episode. Plan on that coming out Tuesday, by the way, with all the coaches. I get to talk with them about their programs. Um, You'll hear from Coach Christian talk about what that moment meant. But Parsons, 22 innings, 3 earned runs, 16 strikeouts. If honestly, if it wasn't for Ayla Davies, probably the freshman of the year in the Cascade would be the Mountie shortstop. Freshman Reagan Kilpert batted 400 in the opening round. She batted 408 with 22 stolen bases on the year. Hope Burke had a pair of home runs, including the one that punched their ticket. She's got 15 extra base hits, batting a 372 mark this year. Second baseman Madeline Durham batting 398 with 20 stolen bases and 13 doubles. And Emily Berry, the first baseman, adding pop with 10 home runs and 49 RBIs. Another team with a fielding percentage at 97%. It's going to be a very tough team to beat. They're playing some really good softball. You look at the gauntlet they've gone through without losing a game. British Columbia, Oregon Tech, Southern Oregon, Middle Georgia State, Olu twice. That's as impressive an 8-game win streak as
Yeah.
you're going to be able to find. Carly, let's go and talk about the 8 and 9 seeds. Grandview as the number 8 seed. Got to see them win the Heart of America tournament, playing some really good softball. And as we get to talk about both the 8 seed and the 9 seed, two of the bigger upsets. We'll start with Grandview, of course, the 8 seed, as they took down the team that finished the regular season as the number 1 team in the country, Science and Arts, en route to making their first World Series since 2022.
Yeah. They kicked off their opening rounds with a pretty handy win over Freed Hardeman, 8-0. Maddie Huseman, 5 innings, 1 hit, and 5 strikeouts. Game two to head to the championship, they defeat USAO 3-1. Gabriella Tabor was 2 for 3, had a double and a home run and 2 RBIs to help push the Vikings to that win. In the championship series, they would lose game one to USAO, forcing the winner take all 10-7. That was a wild one in itself. USAO scored 5 in the top of the seventh. Um, yeah, that was a crazy one. But looking at the winner take all, they would defeat USAO 3-1. Samantha Holbert this time had a huge 2-run shot to propel the Vikings to their first World Series appearance since 22. This is a team that's fielding at 96%. The pitchers have combined for a 3.25 ERA and 258 strikeouts. Offensively, they're hitting around 300 with an on-base percentage of 388. They got 91 stolen bases on the year. Looking at some of the key performers in their opening round, Harmon found a way on and scored a run in almost every game that they played, which was a huge factor for the Vikings in their big wins, especially over USAO. Nevaeh Randall, 5 runs, a double, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs. That put her at 20 extra base hits on the year. She's hitting a solid 339. Samantha Holbert had a huge weekend down in Chickasha. 6 runs, a double, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs. She's hitting 369 on the year with 21 extra base hits. Maddie Huseman, 14 innings, 4 earned runs, 15 strikeouts, and only 11 hits allowed throughout the week. She's throwing 242 on the year with 93 strikeouts. And then how about Madeline Waldorf in the winner take all against USAO? The first time we saw her all week, 7 innings, complete game, 6 hits, 1 earned run, and 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, Huseman and Waldorf both having very equal parts to this great postseason run, both pitching their best softball. You look at Sam Holbert having a big postseason. Randall, one of the more feared hitters from the Heart of America Conference, is a very dangerous team with a lot of firepower. But Carly, you know a thing or two
How
about
about them
some.
Warriors, baby?
Come on, how about both of our Warriors? Weber Baseball making the World Series, fired up
Yep.
for the boys there, but Carly, Midland, wow, what a performance. It's an offensive surge, pitching stepped up. I mean, great stuff. They take down Southeastern 6-3 out in Klamath Falls. Izzy Pagan, one of the best DPs in NAIA softball with 3 RBIs. And then in one of the best games of the tournament, they take
Yeah.
down Oregon Tech 12-10 Camden Barrientos, Jenna Limley, and Asia Henderson having home runs. Asia with the game winner, 3-run shot in the top of the seventh. They do lose to Oregon Tech 2-0 to force the if game on Thursday, where Peyton Kohler would have a complete game, only allowing one earned run en route to the 5-3 win. Peyton Kohler and Campbell Petrick split time pretty equally in the circle up in Klamath Falls. Kohler 10 and a third gave up 3 earned runs. Petrick gave up 6 earned runs over 14 and a third. Looking at their bodies of work, and not big strikeout numbers. Peyton's got a few. She's got 96 and 162 innings. She's looking to cap off the year, I'm sure, north of that century mark with a 2.68 ERA. Then the junior Petrick, 146 innings with a 1.97 ERA. We mentioned Pagan. She had a huge week up in Klamath Falls, batting 384 with 7 RBIs and a pair of doubles. She comes into the Columbus at the half-century mark, 50 RBIs and 25 extra base hits. At the hot corner, Camden Barrientos batted 375 in the opening round. She's got 12 doubles to go with 6 home runs and a 355 batting average. Reese Floro, the heartbeat of that team, though, brings a lot of energy on the field and in the dugout. Floro is batting 424, has 15 doubles with 3 triples. And how about this walk to strikeout ratio? She's got 18 walks to only 6 strikeouts and 6 stolen bases. Not too shabby, Carly.
Yeah, that'll play.
And then to cap it off, this impressive infield, shortstop Maddie Reiling batting 384. Midland versus Grandview to get the day started, get the World Series started. Going to be great softball, and another two teams from the NAISB Invitational that actually played in the NAISB Invitational. Midland
Yep.
beat Grandview earlier in the year. Grandview got Midland there in Shawnee, so a bit of a rubber match there. But Carly, I got a team I'm falling in love with quick. These Reinhardt Eagles. Boy, that was something truly historic, a special moment to be there and get to watch the first 5 seed in opening round history. Now, this is only the second year, but still, there's
Someone's
been
got to do it first.
somebody's got to do it first. And so far, only 1 out of 16 5 seeds in the 2-year history of NAI softball expanding to 48 teams have allowed or have had only 1 5 seed, and it was Reinhardt up at Madonna. The region of parity did not disappoint. Well, let's talk about those Eagles. They took down Coastal Georgia 2-1 behind a complete game from Ansley Pettit and Maddie Wright going 3 for 3. Shannon Ozoe had the game-winning home run in the top of the 6th. Then, 4-5 matchup, 5 seed wins, good job. But then 5 seed, 1 seed to really get this thing cooking. Carly, they beat Madonna 4-2 later that day. Macy Langley had started and did well, going 2 1/3, allowing 2 earned runs. Then Pettit came in for the last half of the ball game, 3 2/3, 6 strikeouts, only gave up 3 hits. Kira Leitner, aka Captain K, game-winning 2-run bomb in the 6th. And then they go up against Rio Grande, and hand up, I thought this was going to be where the magic ran out. You beat Coastal, awesome. You beat Madonna, great. We love it. But I did pick Rio Grande to win this regional, Carly. They chase one of the best pitchers, an All-American, Maddie Ogden, out of the game, and they beat the Red Storm 7-1. Maddie Wright went 2 for 4, her 2 RBI double in the first, got it started for the Eagles. Taylor Haymans and Pettit only gave up 2 hits throughout the game as they split time. And then to send the Eagles to Columbus, they beat Rio Grande again 4-2. Taylor Wade, Maddie Wright, RBI knocks in the second. Shannon Ozoe and Maddie English, RBI knocks in the fourth. And then Pettit, complete game, 9 strikeouts. Looking at the sophomore transfer from Statesboro, Georgia Southern, GATA. Pettit, 21 2/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, only 2 earned runs. Look at the year she's had. Carly, maybe someone we have not talked enough about. She's 20-3, 1.21 ERA, and 143 1/3 innings, about 164 punch outs. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Talked about Maddie Wright a good bit there. She batted 416 in the Marion Regional. Center fielder Taylor Wade batted 400. She's batting 429 with 21 swipe bags on the year. Kira Leitner, Captain K, the right fielder. How about a senior, set the bench for 3 years? Carly now shining in her senior year, batting 379 with 20 extra base hits. And we didn't really talk a lot about the DP Ansley Height, the AAC Player of the Year. Now she did go 2 for 3 with an RBI against Madonna, but if she gets going to go along with this 1 through 9 that can compete with just about any 1 through 9 that heads into Columbus, Carly, you get Height going, who batted 451, 30 extra base hits, including 13 bombs and 62 RBIs. Watch out for the Reinhardt Eagles. They got a tough draw against Eastern Oregon in that 7-10 matchup. But Carly, let's go. Let's go ahead and look at the day one games. Give the games we're most or the matchups we're most excited for. But again, we are proud to partner with Urban Edge Network for our 2025 NAIA Softball World Series coverage. To catch every pitch and play of the NAIA Softball World Series, stream it live on urbanedgenetwork.net and download the app today. Carly, look at these day one games real quick. We're going to go through what we're most excited about, and then we will give you our final four and our champion for the 2025 World Series. Now, hand up, we both picked Oklahoma City last year, and they went 0-2. Shows how much we know. But Carly, what game are you most excited for day one on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Grandview and Midland. Got to go for the alma mater.
Got to.
Um, yep.
Not even a question. I would have been
Yeah.
upset if you picked somebody else.
Yeah. But two teams that have literally an almost identical record on the year. Each team is sitting at 40 wins so far on the season. Like we mentioned a little bit earlier, they're both 1-1 against each other on the year so far. Grandview got the last laugh in Shawnee, defeating the Warriors 4-2. But I think I'm looking forward to these teams both have two of arguably the best or the hottest hitters right now. Samantha Holbert for the Vikings, what she did this week, 6 runs, a double, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs. She's hitting 369 on the year, 21 extra base hits. And then on the Warriors side of things, Izzy Pagan, 384, 7 RBIs, and 2 doubles in her time in Klamath Falls. My only question is, I know we'll see Huseman. My question is, are we going to see Peyton Kohler, Campbell, Petrick, or maybe a combo of the two? But I think these two are going to go at it and see who gets that last laugh.
Yeah, I mean, definitely expect Houston, but could definitely go to Waldorf at some point if you're Coach Yasinich. If you're Beth Singleton, I think it is wide open. Do you go with your veteran ace Peyton Kohler, or do you go to Campbell Petrick? When you were at the World Series 2 years ago, it was pretty easy. You had Leo
Yeah.
Rincon. It's a little different. No Fitzer Foot or Rincon, but definitely have the Pagans and Kohler, Petrick to pick from, like you mentioned there, Floro in the line. Just a different look, but again, 2 and 3 years for Midland. Impressive. Grandview getting back for the first time since 2022. Carly, the game I'm most excited for on day one. Excited for all of them, but just the matchup I'm really excited for is Ayla Davies versus Olivia Stunkel, freshman versus senior in the circle. 1 p.m. It's going to be warm in Georgia. Two girls who used to pitching in northern climates combined for a 60-4 record this year with 405 strikeouts between the duo. You have the speed, late spin, rise ball for Davies, off speed, can throw it for strikes for Stunkel. Two very different styles of pitching. The two statistically best defensive teams in this tournament. Southern Oregon beat Marion twice last year in that regional to make it to the World Series, where Marion was a 1 seed, Southern Oregon was a 2 seed. You look at that first win Southern Oregon had against Marion, they beat them 6-1. Piper Love went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a double. Sammy Pemberton went 2 for 4 with an RBI against Stunkel. So something to keep an eye on there. See if those two have repeat success against Stunkel. They did not see Olivia in their 9-2 win to punch their ticket to Columbus, but certainly if you're Marion, you have a bitter taste in your mouth about Southern Oregon. If you're Southern Oregon, you're Southern Oregon. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. But Carly, those are two we're really looking forward to. But let's be honest, it's 1A, 1B, 1C. These are
Yeah.
phenomenal games. Let's look at the other two matchups and what we think some of those some of the key storylines are. I think I know you're going to start with this one. Eastern Oregon and Reinhardt game 3 at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, number 7 versus number 10. This is going to be more up your alley, Reagan.
Oh yeah.
Going to be an absolute pitcher's duel. We look at Parsons, who has a 1.22 ERA on the year, 20-0, 143 and a third innings pitch, 127 strikeouts to just 18 walks. She only gave up 3 earned runs in the opening round. And then we look at Pettit, who's very similar in numbers, 1.12 ERA. 20-3, 143 innings pitched on the year with 164 strikeouts to 8 walks. And similar to Parsons, only allowed 2 earned runs in her opening round appearances. These are two very similar teams, and I was doing some digging on their stats so far this year. Eastern Oregon, 79 stolen bases, Reinhardt, 80. Eastern Oregon, 121 extra base hits, Reinhardt, 118. Eastern Oregon, 376 hits, Reinhardt, 378. And then they're very close in slugging as well as runs this year. But like I said, this will be a pitcher's duel. Reinhardt is arguably the hottest team in the NAIA right now. So we'll see if they can keep that magic going.
Well, this next game 4. Well, first, so excited for that Eastern Oregon Reinhardt game. But Carly, cannot wait for this rematch. Look, could we see Emerson Herron and Haley Cotter come out and pitch absolute gems and this is a close game? Yeah, sure. But evidence shows Oklahoma City and Central Methodist is going to have some fireworks between it, and both teams looking for a little redemption from the 2024 World Series. I mean, earlier this year they played each other in Shawnee, as we talked about earlier. That football game, 21-13, was the final score on Sunday
Yeah.
out there in Shawnee. Maybe a little bit of wind blowing out, but still a lot of bombs hitting that one. But Carly, one of the best storylines to kick off day one. How about a combined 3,020 wins all time between Pat Reardon and Phil McSpadden? Wow, both gentlemen top 4 all time in the NAIA. McSpadden, of course, has the most wins in NAIA or in any college softball history at 1,993. He get himself knocking on the doorstep of 2,000 heading into 2026 with a good run. He already is, obviously. Pat Reardon eclipsed the 1,000 win mark. They've done it building up to very, very respected programs in Oklahoma City and Central Methodist. But Carly, we looked at it last year. Number 2 seed Oklahoma City that we both picked to win it all. Number 3 said 3 seed Central Methodist we both had making it past Memorial Day. They both go 0-2 as top 3 seeds, looking for redemption. They did play earlier in the years, like we mentioned, 10 girls, 7 for Oklahoma City, had multiple RBI games, including Emerson Herron, who went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a home run, and a double. And my big question for this one, which of these veteran coaches and which pitcher will make adjustments? Could we see Veronica Dirth and Brinley Alsip, the number 2 pitchers on staff who did not pitch in that game in Shawnee? We shall see. But Carly, it's time to put our money where our mouth is.
Oh God.
Okay.
I
You
gotta
just
open up my, yeah, I'll just open up the
You're
thing I
gonna
sent
open
you.
yours up. All right. Here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna skip all the way to game 15. Here's our predictions, folks. Carly will go game by game. We both have the same 4 teams in our final 4. However, they're very differently placed. So In my winners bracket, game 15 to put you a win away from the Red Banner. I have the 7 seed Eastern Oregon Mounties taking on the 4 seed Oklahoma City Stars. I'm going to give it to Eastern Oregon. I say they beat Oklahoma City in game 15, 4-3 to put them a win away from the Red Banner. Carly, who do you have in that game 15?
Yeah. I got the number one Cumberland's Patriots versus Southern Oregon, and putting them one win away from the championship series. I got Cumberland's taking that game over Southern Oregon.
It's interesting because Southern Oregon did beat Cumberland's 8-6 in Shawnee. You have Cumberland's with a slight edge there, sending Southern Oregon to the elimination bracket. Looking at my elimination bracket, Carly, in the first game, game 16, I have that same matchup and I have the same result. I have number one Cumberland's beating number three Southern Oregon 6-4, ending Southern Oregon's quest for their fourth red banner and keeping Cumberland's alive for one more game. Who do you have? Let me say my game 17 real quick. I'll set up my championship and then you can give your elimination bracket. So I got Cumberland's beating Southern Oregon 6-4. They would then, of course, face Oklahoma City in game 17. And I have the Stars beating the Pats in a thriller 8-7, setting up a rematch there. Oklahoma City being sent to the elimination bracket by Eastern Oregon, but I have them facing Eastern Oregon again in my championship. Carly, what's your elimination semifinal look like?
Yeah, game 16 flipped from your winners bracket. I got Eastern Oregon versus Oklahoma City. And I have Eastern Oregon coming out on top in that one. So then they would take on Southern Oregon in game 17, which would be an absolute banger of a game. Um, so not hoping for any team to lose specifically to set that up, but I wouldn't be mad if that happened.
Yeah.
So in game 17, I have Eastern Oregon defeating Southern Oregon, and then um, I got Eastern Oregon winning the first game and forcing the winner take all game, and I got Cumberland's walking away on top.
Hey, the Pats rocked with you last week. I can't be mad at you for picking them. It's a great pick. Obviously, have them finishing number three overall on my end. Look, I always pick the if necessary game to be forced. I do think if Oklahoma City wins that game 18 and forces the if necessary, the Stars bring home their 12th red banner. However, I've lived with them all year. I've rode with them all year. I'll die with them in Columbus. Give me Eastern Oregon for your 2025 NAIA softball champion. I have them winning game 18, 5-4 over Oklahoma City and what is going to be a thrilling World Series. Did we get that right? Probably not. Maybe just jinxed all four teams right there. So apologies if we do. But Carly, this is a wide open World Series. We have made very, very good arguments for all 10 teams winning the World Series here this episode. And I truly believe whoever brings the red banner home will not be that much of a surprise. We got there last
No,
year, and it really felt like you had the Central Methodist, the Oklahoma City, the obviously OLU teams that throughout the regular season had just been dominating all year long. It's not like that this year. It's wide open. We saw it in the opening round. We saw it with the Midlands. We saw it with the Reinhardts. We saw it with even the Grandview beating USAO. I don't think there is a one team that sticks out above the rest, at least not on paper. I think Oklahoma City's offense are definitely can stick out to you a little bit. Georgia Gwinnett's pitching can stick out. All these teams are really strong defensively, which seems to be the common denominator. But I look at it from head to toe, and I just look at it for a team playing just phenomenal softball right now, and that's why I'm picking Eastern Oregon to win it. But again, if Reinhardt, if Midland, if Grandview brings this thing home, I'm not surprised. I
mm-mm.
think the storyline for Cumberland's is very strong. How many seniors they have. You look at Georgia Gwinnett, that 1-2 duo in the circle, James and Jarvis, could absolutely lead them to a World Series title. You never count out Southern Oregon. You can never count out Oklahoma City, two postseason teams through and through. Pat Reardon in his epic year of reaching 1,000 wins. Could this be his year finally of bringing a red banner home? What about the Marion Knights? Scott Fleming, another great career. Team just, I mean, just on murder watch through the postseason, playing great softball. I could absolutely see Marion winning it. Already talked about Eastern Oregon, Grandview rolling through the Hart tournament, getting knocked down against USAO, so close to ending it without forcing the if game, but then get up off the mat after losing that slugfest, win a close game at Bill Smith Ballpark, eliminating the Drovers. You look at Midland, just went up to Klamath Falls where nobody outside of Midland picked them to win. They could do it in Columbus. And then you look at Reinhardt. Why not them in a year that's just been insane? They were the best team in Marion, Indiana. Don't get it twisted. They've already beaten elite pitching, elite lineups there. They could do it again. Carly, this thing's wide open. You seem confident with your Cumberland's pick. I feel confident with my Eastern Oregon pick, but who the heck knows, girl?
Who knows, dude?
Well, again, you can catch all the games on urbanedgenetwork.net. Download their app for free. Link in bio. Carly, I'll see you in Columbus.
I'll see you. Dude, I haven't seen you in literally 2 years.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like y'all listen, obviously I'm assuming we have more listeners on this episode than usual episodes. But yeah, Carly and I literally met at the World Series in 23 where she was playing. A post-game interview later, Oregon Tech beating y'all later, and yeah, you get offered the spot after you jokingly kind of said, "Hey, if y'all want some help." But yeah,
Here I
uh,
am.
yeah, and then a lot of Zoom recordings later, what probably 70 Zoom recordings later, more than
God,
that if you
yeah.
include
More than that.
interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but dog, what a year. What a year. Y'all, 5 million views on social media this year. It's led to partnerships like ours with Urban Edge Network. We're able to really, I mean, what's a dream when we started. I mean, looking at where we're currently heading into the World Series last year, we're at maybe like 1 million views, maybe, and now we're at 5 heading into the World Series, and it's going to be epic. I'm going to be there the whole time. Carly's going to be there from Saturday through Thursday, so she'll miss the Thursday. You missed the 2 days that are tough. You ain't slick. I know it. No, I'm playing. Um, uh, but Mimi will be there. Mimi Maggard, who's done a phenomenal job this postseason, she'll be there on Thursday and Friday, possibly Saturday as well. Manny and Connor are going to be doing their thing remotely. But hey, we're going to wrap up this episode. I'll stick around on Instagram Live for a little bit longer. Carly, I will see you in Columbus.
I'll see you in Columbus, man.